The following is a presentation of the Eagles Sports Network.
Alongside Carson-Newman baseball coach Tom Griffin, I'm Michael Watchering, and this is the Eagles Sports Network. Carson-Newman gets set for a 3-game series against Lincoln Memorial. And, Coach, on Tuesday, you fall at King. You've had a couple of those games in the midweeks where you've lost, but short memory, you've been able to turn it around in the weekend series against conference opponents. What do you think about how your guys have handled some of those setbacks in the midweek and been able to get prepared for the conference series?
First of all, welcome back from Sioux City, South Dakota, Sioux Falls, South Dakota. I thought that Adam did a phenomenal job. Did a phenomenal job while you were gone. Doesn't match you. Just being a part of the baseball, just hanging out.
Being in the way?
Just being in the way. But he was fun. But we missed you. Our midweek games, last couple, we haven't played as well as you would like. This past one we was disappointed in, but we learned from it. We learned what we have to do each and every day. These lessons we're learning about baseball, we're learning more about what we're going to do in life. So if we go to work Monday through Friday, are you going to have some bad days? Sure, sure, but have a good bad day. And I just thought that the energy level was one of those, well, we're taking a trip, and then we just sat there and went through the motions. And we want them to have more gusto and life to what we're doing each and every day. And that goes for the coaches, too. We've got to bring it each and every day and have passion and realize what we're doing and who we're doing it for. I think we can never forget that. We kind of get caught up in a lot of things that we forget about what our purpose is. And I got a card I carry with me now, Mike Lynch from North Star. We've talked about this, but that card reminds me of what my purpose is, what our coach's purpose is, process over results. So we were disappointed in some of the process, the decisions we made. So we talked about it yesterday. Now it's completely done. It's over with. Now we go on to, the next workout or the next training day or going to class. We've got to put that behind us. And the guys have done a good job of that. Being able to last week play very well and get the wins was good. But God also reminded us that, hey, you're going to have a lot of this going on in life. And that's what this all is. They're all just practice plans that God has for us to understand how we're going to live the rest of our life.
I know that you preach one pitch at a time, but this feels like this is a big couple-week stretch because you're on the road for the next 2 weeks. You get a Lincoln Memorial team first. It's 5-7 that they didn't expect to be in that spot, and then you get a Wingate team that is in first place. Road series that could really define where you guys finish in the conference standings. How do you handle that as a coach? Because I know you look at the standings and as well as trying to make sure that the players are focused on each pitch.
Yeah, who doesn't? I mean, that's just the nature of competitiveness. But all we can do, honestly, and they're not worrying about anything. LMU's worrying about the first pitch, and I know Coach Six-Eye and how they're going to be prepared for things. That record, anyway, doesn't mean a thing, and you know that in this conference. And what we're going to see at LMU is just a very good ball club, a veteran club that has had a lot of success, well coached, good starters, got a veteran lineup. They're good. It's a good club. We know that. But we can't do anything about what they do. We can only control our thoughts, our emotions, staying positive, being the best version of ourselves. And that's all we can control. And we as coaches have to make sure they're doing that. If we get too far ahead of ourselves, I think that's where we're going to end up having problems in the mental part of the game.
You get an LMU team. You talk about that mental part of it. Last year, they handled you pretty well. They beat you 3 times up there, and then in the conference tournament in Championship Monday, you guys made a bunch of errors. How do you try to get past the mental aspect of it? I know you have a lot of new guys, but you still have some guys that remember what happened last year, getting past that mental aspect this weekend.
They remember it, but I got to think, and I don't know how the brain functioning works very well, but it's got to be such a small percentage because I'm going to tell you, the 18 to 22-year-old can forget things real quick. All they got to do is get on their phone and get on some Instagram or some Facebook, and they've completely forgotten what just happened yesterday or just the last minute. So their minds, I think, are built, this age group, to literally forget stuff. And until we mention that, they don't even know. I don't think it matters. It really doesn't. And LMU's not the only team we've struggled against over the years, and I'm sure you've pointed that out quite a bit. And, but that's every year is different. Every year is different. You just don't know, but you just get them ready in practice and in our training, and you know, more than anything, it's the kids playing the game. We get them prepared in training, but then when the games start, we really got to say, it's your game. You make the decision. Our catchers call the game. Our pitchers, it's their final decision. We're not telling the hitters when to swing. You give them game plans and make sure they have plans when they go up. But, Michael, it's their ball game, and that's truly what we've got to do, is allow them to do that. Now, at the same time, if it's going to be their game, they've got to watch for each other, which means if you see one of your teammates who's maybe getting negative on himself and kind of down for whatever reason, that's your job as his teammate to get him back up, to get him back involved, to communicate with each other, to stay involved in the game. It means that the bench has to stay involved in the game and play whatever role they have that day. Be great at that role. If it's trying to get signs, if it's keeping a chart, if it's encouraging your teammate, everyone has a role, and they have to be their best at it. That's all we ask of them. And if they're not, then hold them accountable. Hold each other accountable while we're there at the field, because it makes it much easier when we go off the field to hold people accountable, to be their best, do what's right, treat others the way you want to be treated, which is basically the pillars of our program.
Coach, appreciate the time. Best luck this weekend.
Thank you. Appreciate you, man.
He's Carson-Newman baseball coach Tom Griffin. I'm Michael Watchering, and this is the Eagle Sports Network.